The Palestinian Cause, a tale of resilience and the pursuit of rights. The Palestinian cause is one of the complex international issues that has spanned for decades. A historical issue related to the rights of Palestinians and their existence in their occupied land of Palestine in the Middle East. This issue is intertwined with a series of events and developments that the region has witnessed over the decades, serving as the focal point of a fierce conflict that has profoundly impacted the lives of millions of people. Here, we delve into the details of the most significant events and milestones in the history of the Palestinian cause, and we review the key developments and challenges in 2018 resolving this intricate conflict from a neutral and realistic perspective, aiming to attain a deeper understanding of the problem and its impact on the region and the world. The root causes of the Palestinian cause. The roots of the Palestinian cause can be traced back to various historical and political factors, among the most prominent being the emergence of Zionism and its institutions. In the 19th century, Western Jews began embracing new theories of colonization in the lands of Palestine, which were based on the idea of replacing peaceful or civil efforts with armed control. One of the staunch supporters of this theory was the worldwide Zionist movement, which declared, "The day of building a Jewish battalion will be the day our state is established." In the mid-19th century, the Lovers of Zion movement was established in Europe, aiming to realize the dream of establishing a separate state for Jews. Prominent Zionists believed that the optimal location for this state should be in the historical land of the Jewish people, known as Palestine. At that time, Palestine was under Ottoman rule and was predominantly inhabited by Arab Palestinians, with the Jewish minority representing less than 8% of the population until 1920. The Zionist project sparked strong resentment among Palestinians and faced vehement rejection from various political and religious figures of that time, including the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, Amin al-Husseini, Izz ad-Din al-Qassam, and later Abd al-Qadir al-Husseini, along with other political, religious, and military leaders. This period witnessed the emergence of popular resistance in Palestine, with various forms of resistance against the Zionist project. Arab figures and rulers had divergent stances in confronting this project. Some supported the rights of Palestinians to achieve their destiny, while others opposed Palestinian rights or remained silent. On the other hand, Western countries welcomed the Zionist project in Palestine and provided financial, military, and logistical support. These countries realized that establishing a Jewish state in Palestine served their interests in the region, hence offering support to the Zionists. Major countries such as Britain, the United States, and France provided support to the Zionists. The British Mandate Period. In 1917, the British Army occupied Palestine and eastern Jordan in collaboration with the Arab Revolt led by Sharif Hussein. This revolt aimed to achieve independence and unity for the Arab states. Based on the Sykes-Picot Agreement, Jordan and Palestine came under British mandate. In the same year, British Foreign Secretary Arthur James Balfour sent a letter to Baron Lionel Walter Rothschild, in which he pledged British support for the establishment of a national homeland for the Jewish people in Palestine. However, the pledge also included a note that this support would not adversely affect the civil and religious rights of the non-Jewish inhabitants of Palestine, including Arabs and Christians. This is what later became known as the Balfour Declaration, and is one of the key events in the history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Palestinian Nakba and the refugee tragedy. During the British Mandate in Palestine and afterwards, the Zionist movement carried out a series of pre-planned actions aimed at deporting Palestinians and implementing ethnic cleansing in Palestine. These actions included terrorist attacks on Palestinian villages and cities carried out by Zionist organizations such as the Haganah, Irgun, and Stern Gang. These pre-planned strategies have been discussed by a number of renowned historians like Ilan Pappé, Benny Morris, and Walid Khalidi. These operations led to the occupation by Jews of around 78% of historical Palestine's land, resulting in the unfortunate deaths and displacement of approximately 750,000 to 1 million Palestinians by force to neighboring countries and other parts of Palestine. This mass displacement played a significant role in forming a new core for the Palestinian cause, as Palestinian refugees who left the areas occupied by Israel became a fundamental element in this conflict. Between 1947 and the passing of 1948, around 750,000 Palestinian Arabs were displaced from their towns. After the war, the Mandate area was divided into regions governed by Israel, Jordan, and Egypt. Israeli citizenship was granted to those who remained within Israel's borders only, while the return of Arab refugees from outside these borders was rejected. For Jordan, Jordanian citizenship was offered to the residents of the West Bank, including the refugees who arrived there. However, the residents of Gaza and the refugees who arrived there were denied Egyptian citizenship. Currently, Palestinian refugees make up about half of the entire Palestinian population, numbering close to 4.6 million people according to statistics from 1995. The difficult day and the official declaration of the State of Israel in Palestine. After the end of World War II in 1945, the attacks by Zionist gangs against British forces in Palestine intensified. This situation prompted Britain to refer the Palestine issue to the United Nations. On April 28, the United Nations Special Committee on Palestine, UNESCOP, began its session, consisting of 11 members. The committee presented its report on September 8, with most members supporting the idea of partitioning Palestine, while some members proposed a federal solution. The Arab Higher Committee rejected the partition proposal, while the Jewish Agency accepted it. The United States and the Soviet Union announced their support for the partition idea. On October 29, the British government announced its intention to leave Palestine within 6 months if an acceptable solution was not reached by both Arabs and Zionists. During the period following this decision, the pace of military operations increased from all parties involved in the conflict. The Zionists had elaborate plans which they executed carefully, taking advantage of the opportunity to control areas from which British forces had withdrawn. In this context, Arabs faced military challenges due to their delay in building strong, regular Arab forces capable of defending Palestine. The Zionist forces succeeded in occupying territories exceeding those allocated to them according to the partition plan. During this time, a large number of Palestinians were forced to leave their cities and villages due to the Jewish battles and massacres. On May 13th, Chaim Weizmann sent a message to U.S. President Harry Truman, asking him to fulfill his promise to recognize the State of Israel. On May 14th at 4 p.m., the State of Israel was declared in Tel Aviv. The British High Commissioner left his official residence in Jerusalem, heading back to Britain. And in the early minutes of May 15th, the British Mandate in Palestine ended, and the declaration of the State of Israel came into effect. The United States recognized Israel 10 minutes after that, yet conflicts and tensions continued between Israel and neighboring Arab countries. With the end of the war, Israel became a reality, seizing territories that exceeded those originally designated to them according to the partition plan. Israel occupied the entire coastal plain of Palestine except for Gaza, which was controlled by the Egyptians. Israel also took control of the Negev, Galilee, and northern Palestine. East Jerusalem and the West Bank became part of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. This marked a new chapter in the conflict's history as the front lines evolved with Arab countries. Deir Yassin massacre in Palestine. Deir Yassin is a Palestinian village located west of Jerusalem. On April 9, 1948, a horrific massacre took place in this village at the hands of the Zionists, specifically the Ergun and Stern gang, 14 days after a peace treaty was requested by Jewish leaders and accepted by the residents of Deir Yassin. This massacre resulted in the deaths of a large number of village residents, including children, elderly, women, and young men. Estimates vary regarding the number of casualties, with Arab and Palestinian sources citing between 250 to 360 deaths, while Western sources stating that the number did not exceed 107 deaths. The Deir Yassin massacre exacerbated fear among civilians and significantly impacted Palestinian migration to other areas of Palestine and neighboring Arab countries, escalating hostility between Arabs and Israelis. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell button to receive all that is new.